We're here in Little Clacton today with Harlow trainer Robert Emery and a lovely kennel and a really different way of doing things actually that we're going to talk about now. But you know, how nice it is, Robert, when the dogs get up to say hello to you when you get here and greet you. And this one in particular, Hattie, she's only been here a week, but they're so settled here.
Yep, she's settled in lovely. She's only been here a week, but they settle in. They all seem to just chill out here. That's how it is, how we like it.
Is it important to you that your dogs are so content?
Oh, it has to be. Has to be. If your dogs aren't content, you can't do nothing with them. You won't be able to race them. And they won't be happy racing. So, content dogs are happy dogs, and hopefully plenty of winners.
And you do have a different way of doing a lot of things. We can see from these guys here, they're in dog beds, which is not something I see very often.
Yeah, we like dog beds because they're easy. If there's any mess or anything like that, you can just pull them out, give them a clean, and they just snuggle into them nicely. Keep plenty of bedding in there, and they're fine.
And you have tried the usual kind of style beds, and you don't like them as much?
No, don't like them, the style beds, because you just can't keep them clean like others, and they're wooden, and some got wood benches, and they're just wee absorbs into them, and they end up smelling and all that, and we just don't do smell. So.
And I can confirm there is absolutely no smell here today. A few other things that are different. Feeding, you really believe in the way you feed, and it's quite unusual.
Yeah, we only feed the Gain biscuit. We did have Gain 28, but we've gone on to the Gain record breaker now, and the dogs look well, they seem well on it, and they seem to be running well as well, so why do anything different? You know, used to do all the meat and the vegetables and all that, and I'd rather spend time letting dogs out for wees and treating them if there's any injuries and that. You know, it saves a lot of time, and the dogs look well, so I'll carry on doing it.
And talking of letting dogs out, again, slightly different here. You've got 22 dogs, you've got one paddock. It's a massive paddock, but it gets well used.
Yeah, it gets used 4 times a day. They normally start between 7 and 7:30 in the morning, first let out. Second let out starts between 10 and 11. And then third let out is between 3 and 4 o'clock, depending on racing. If we're racing, you have to be earlier. And then the last let out's between 9 and 10. So yeah, it gets well used.
What is it that you think is beneficial about the size of the paddock in terms of dogs being able to stretch their legs and things?
Well, they can go out and just do their own thing, and if they fancy a run round, they will. If they don't feel up to it, they won't. So you're not pushing them to do anything they don't want to do.
With all these things, you have tried different ways. So you did have a gallop here.
Yeah, I did have a gallop for a little while, but I found that I was actually getting more injuries and it didn't benefit the dogs too much. So, but a lot of free. I read an article once on about someone who did lots of walking, lots of galloping, and he said the best thing he ever did was have a large paddock of 100 odd metres and 30 or 40 metres wide and let the dogs free run. So I tried it and it seems to have worked.
We can just wander down the kennel here because since you came here 9 years ago, you've done an awful lot of work. In fact, this was an old stable. It
was an old stable when we bought it, and the stables were down that end, and we gradually converted it, and as we got more dogs, you know, we built it and then we knocked it down and bought new panels, and as it expanded, you had to make room. We like the single kennel as well. Dogs seem happier. You don't get. It's easy, a lot easier to keep clean, a lot easier to feed. It's just easier all round.
All single kennelled and not muzzled, obviously, which is important to you. And also you can see from looking at these, they all have a magnetic collar on them. Yeah,
it's something I tried. I had a dog that used to finish her races a little bit sore. So I tried a magnetic collar, and every day after that, every race, she never seemed to be sore. So I thought we'd give it to put a collar on every dog. So. It seems to work, seems to help.
And the magnet extends to a box you've got. It's quite an old school looking box, but again, you think it works?
Yeah, it's got a couple of snug boxes, and I wouldn't be without it. You have dogs come in that have all got niggles and that, and you soon see where the injuries are, and it really does help keep the dogs toned as well. And yeah, I wouldn't be without it.
And you said some of them love it so much that they fall asleep in there, standing up.
Yeah, some of them fall asleep, you see them doze off, and it's quite funny really sometimes.
A lot of bitches in here. Most people tell me that they want to win the derby and they like buying early paced dogs that are going to, you know, potentially win them that derby. You're looking for a different type of dog here.
Yeah, I prefer stays. Grew up seeing Skirlew Champ and Ballyregan Bob running. And my dad had a dog that was called Lane End Bob that was the same running style as Skirlew Champ and just loved marathon races. I think it's proper racing. None of this 16-second out and gone, finished, go home sort of thing, none of that. Definitely want marathon dogs.
And you like the bitches too?
Like the bitches, they're easy, I find them cleaner, easier to handle. Can have a bit more attitude sometimes. Dogs are a bit more laid back, and once they're fed and been out for a wee, they just want to sleep. So yeah, the bitches is a lot easier.
Obviously just you and your wife here, Tracy, and they're very attached to you. Why is that?
We just seem to be calm around them. Tracy does a great job. Without her as a partnership, we seem to work quite well. We have our moments, but you know, we just do it in a calm way. We keep them all the dogs all clean and keep a routine, and the dogs seem to love it.
What is the ambition? I know you love life at Harlow, don't you?
Harlow's good. Yeah, it's good there, and it's just a straightforward track. It's easy. It's straightforward. Nothing's too much of a problem. It's a safe track, very safe track, and I think a lot of tracks could do well to go to Harlow and actually look how they do their track with the staff that they've got there. The staff are second to none. The track boys, they do a fantastic job.
Certainly your love for the dogs shines through, and you said once they've been here, they'll never go anywhere else other than a sofa.
No, they'll go to a sofa somewhere, whether it's my sofa or to rehome into live their life out as we would like to think they had. You know, we've had ones go away and have ended up going on treks and stuff and things like that. You know, it's nice to know they're going to have a nice home after we've looked after them so well.
When you do it the way you are, you have just one owner in the kennel, you own most of them yourself, and you know, it's not huge demands on you racing wise, great relationship with the dogs. It's a really nice life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good life. I wouldn't say it's a hard life though. If you can make it hard if you want to. I just like to keep everything simple, you know, and straightforward. I don't like, you can be rushing around here, there and everywhere. I like to go open racing occasionally. That becomes a bit more difficult if we've got the dogs, but no, it's a lovely life, you know. We're not working for anybody else, we're working for ourselves, you know. Done all that with the gardening, working for other people and dealing with customers and stuff like that, and don't want that anymore. Wouldn't do doing anything else.